It is really crucial to acknowledge that being visible for many members of our community is problematic and sometimes even criminalized in some countries.
I'm here with my colleagues at GATE, and we're going to have a discussion about what trans visibility means to us and our work at GATE.
A lot has happened when I look back when I was growing up to now. I think there's much more visibility. It has also come with extreme backlash and extreme hate, and the growth in hate has increased in tandem with the visibility.
Hi everyone, my name is Anwar. I'm GATE Movement Building Lead. I'm a trans-masculine person, Muslim advocate, born and raised in France, and I am currently living in France.
I'm Navon O'Connor. I am the Director of Communications at GATE. I identify as a gay trans man from the Republic of Ireland.
Hi everyone, I'm Erika Castellanos. I am Executive Director at GATE. I am a transgender woman with indigenous background from a Mayan community in Belize, and I currently reside in the Netherlands.
For me, visibility immediately equates community, because it is within my community that I found the strength to be visible as a trans person and to live my best life as a trans person.
I grew up not knowing that this was possible. I was well into my late 20s before I even knew I was trans. I didn't have a community around me. I didn't know what trans was. I just had no framework whatsoever for my experience. So for me, visibility is about giving people reference points that they can start to understand their own experience.
The first time I saw a trans person was in a TV show of those talk shows that people scream, and so it wasn't the best example, but something attracted me. I couldn't take my eyes off the trans woman I see in that show, and I felt like I want to be like her. I really want to be like her, and that really, really touched me.
There is quite some trans visibility, not always the best, but still. What we don't see though is a lot of trans people of color and even less trans Muslims. In my personal experience, that's where I struggled the most, of really having the feeling that I do need to make a choice between being part of a community of color and especially a community of spirituality, of faith, which is in my case Muslim community, and being a trans and queer, proud person.
While we have different paths in life, one thing that I find in common is how we always have to be pushing boundaries. Boundaries that are set by people who don't understand, and those boundaries are set out of lack of knowledge and understanding, and sometimes because of lack of empathy.
I think that the reality is that we are brought up within the same systems, and we just are forced into a position where we have to break them down in order to be ourselves.
Having to come out to my children, which was the most scary thing in my life, only to find out that they just didn't care. I prepared for months, I blurted out over dinner, and the answer was, "Can you pass the salad?"
I think the point about your children is really interesting because it proves that the boundaries that are put in place by society are not innate. They are society-enforced restrictions that we come to believe are the right way things should be or have to be.
I've been raised in the very same society, so all the transphobic things that we can hear around us, at some point they crossed me.
There's fear around the unknown. That's a natural human trait.
But what is a norm is everything that is removed from the norm. And who is setting the norm? Those who have the power, those who have the privilege, those who are representing this fake majority that we make us believe that exists.
We sometimes let these boundaries that are set influence so much ourselves that it creates doubts within ourselves. And sometimes it can be a very lonely journey. This Transgender Day of Visibility is an opportunity to reflect on my journey, to reflect on our collective journey as a movement, and to really look at what lies ahead of us and plan and come together as a community.
There will always be people left behind. How do we do to bridge the gaps, and how do we do to bridge resources?
I think a crucial role to play is providing the tools, providing the space, helping to open spaces and let individuals decide which space to enter and which space not to enter.
Crucial to representation and visibility of trans communities is allowing them to choose how they are represented and to choose what they are visible about and what they share and what they don't.
It's good to understand that we're not a homogeneous group and how we are this sector of society, but within our community there's also huge variety and diversity, and I think we should be very proud of the diversity in our community and actually celebrate it.
You look around you, who are your trans siblings, who are the sex workers, who are the disabled folks, who are the people with migrant and refugee background, and just make sure that this day of visibility includes everyone, even those who are traditionally left behind.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Gate staff on a sofa series.